Hi guys, I made it. If you can hear me, will somebody just drop a little message down below? Last night we had some problems where people were not able to comment, so we had to reschedule the live. So I'm hoping that it's fixed. So if you guys can hear me, I hope you can hear me. It might not be allowing comments. I don't know. There's some weird thing happening with Facebook. I know some other friends that are, they have their own groups and are having trouble getting Facebook to work. So we don't know for sure what's going on. But I'm just going to give it a couple of minutes and let people kind of get here. Then we'll get started. So this is a really cool cup to do, and I'm really excited that I'm able to do it with you all. I see a lot of people leaving, and so this is like not looking good to me, where I'm thinking that Facebook is being stupid again. Oh boy. So I can see my own comment, but I'm not seeing comments from anybody else, which is very frustrating. I don't know what's up. I don't know what's up with Facebook and what it's doing, but that doesn't mean that I can't still do the live. It's just that I'm not going to be able to interact with people. So if it's been a day. It's got like all this weird technology stuff is going on. So I like prepped last night. I got everything ready. I set up my laptop, and this morning when just as I'm going to log in here, my computer is being held hostage by Windows and telling me that I absolutely have to upgrade, to this update that just random. And it's been running for like an hour now, and it's still doing its silliness. So I have no bloody idea what's happening. I'm going to, as soon as my computer comes up, I'm going to pop into the group. And if you can hear me, but you cannot message me, I'm going to put up, a post. And if somebody would just let me know if you're hearing things. I mean, people are coming in and they're leaving. I got a funny feeling that that Facebook is just being a jerk today. But this is such a cool cup, and I really want to do it with you all. I might actually start, I'm going to maybe talk to Beth about maybe doing like Zoom or something for some classes for you guys, because I'm like this font of useless knowledge, and I know so many things about crafting and resin and art and stuff, and I just really want to share that with people. My computer's almost done. Hooray, hooray, hooray. So this is like the second step in the cup, and I'm just showing y'all. So what we're going to do today is we're going to, I planned to do this part 1 last night, but because I wanted this to be a work along for people, I wanted you all to be able to like work with me and ask me questions as you went along. But if that's not going to, you know, that maybe not going to happen. If you guys have problems or you're trying to do this cup and you run into something, just message me. You can message me in the group. I'm not a moderator anymore. I'm just here. Just helping out and doing my lives because I love to teach. So last night's part was supposed to be this, where we do the wood grain first with the alcohol ink, because this is put directly onto your painted cup. So I'm going to show you how to do that. And then part 2 is going to be the alcohol inks and the waves, which we're going to actually try this with Swiftpoxy because I want to do part 3 tonight. And if I was using the regular, as much as I love my regular Tumblerpoxy, if I was using that tonight, today, I wouldn't be able to do the next part, tonight. So, and then I wanted to finish it tomorrow. So this is where we're going, is we're going to start with this, and then we're going to go into the waves, which is on the bottom. But I'm also going to show you how to do, so this is not on here yet. Let me show you on the other one. We're going to do a tentacles, so we're going to have an octopus coming up the cup. I want to do this. Now, you don't have to add this part if you don't want to do clay. You know, that's totally up to you. You know, it's a choice. You don't have to. Let me just log on my laptop. This thing is like old as, oh my gosh, it's so old. I just got a new laptop, and I can't remember my Facebook password, so I'm going to have to request a new one or whatever, go through some process in order to be able to get it on to the new laptop. So I don't know. I'm telling you, technology and me lately are just like, it's a bomb. It's a bomb. Don't like it. I see so many people coming in and going out. You guys must be having trouble. Okay. All right. So if somebody can go on just go, leave this page, the live, go on to the Tumblerpoxy group and just like check me and let me know. Can you guys hear me, or are you guys just looking at my face expecting me to like make, funny faces at you guys? I don't know. All right. See, I can't talk and type at the same time. All right, somebody, I'm just posting that right now. Just, and then I'll be able to see what's going on. Because I don't want to, I want to do this with y'all today. And if you have questions, like I said, I'm always available to help you with anything. It doesn't matter. If I know how, I will share my knowledge with you guys, and happily to do so. Okay, so as I'm waiting for somebody to just answer my little query there, I just put it up. So somebody pop out, be the brave person, and do, just let me know if you guys can hear me okay. Oh, awesome. Awesome. Thank you, Kim. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Hey, I almost forgot, guys. Guess what? So my little contest thing that I'm doing, I started it when I was a mod here, and you know, it's called Push It to the Limit on in June. And I wanted you guys to challenge yourselves to get out there, to do something completely new that you've never done before. Break through the barriers of fear. Don't get hung up in the same little box, making the same pretty cups every day, all the time. You got to expand, you got to grow. And that's how, as artists, we grow. It's how, as entrepreneurs and business people, and I say people because I know 90% of the crafters in this group are women, but there's still some men, so I want to be inclusive to everybody. We have to grow. And in order to grow, we have to push our limits constantly. So I have got some amazing prizes that I picked out of my own personal stuff that's never been used. I've got glitters. I have micas. I have a Tumblerpoxy kit. It's going to go to somebody. I'm going to pick at random 3 people, and maybe 4. I don't know. I kind of like, yeah, maybe, I don't know. But I'm going to pick a few people, and I'm going to put it on a wheel. It's going to be completely random. So there's, you know, no shenanigans. And then, you guys can either message me your address, or if you're not comfortable with that and you win, then what we'll do is I will ship it down to Beth and Paul and then have them send it to you. So it's totally, you know, that's kind of a pain for them, but you know, honestly, hey, I'm a good person. I'm not gonna come hunt you down or anything. So I have glitter from like BJ's glitter and Southern Sassy Sparkles glitter and Tumblerpoxy. I have some pop sockets that are going to go into a random box. I actually have an amazing, I'm so pumped for this. This is like so cool. This is one of the prizes for some lucky person. This is a BJ's sub box. These things are so hard to get, guys. I ordered it, I opened it, and I peeked in it, and it's like, oh my gosh, so cool. This is the patriotic one. So cool. Somebody's gonna get this. All you have to do to qualify for this is, there is a post that I made. It is a post with a pink turner and a rainbow cup on it. It says push it to the limit on it. And it, you know, it's very self-explanatory. All you need to do is try something new. Put up a picture of it or a little video, whatever you want to do, on that post. And then tell me a little bit about how you felt about it. This is not about winning big or being perfect. This is about messing up, screwing it up. You know, if it comes out perfect, yay, awesome. But it's the first time. The first time is the hardest. I did this one, and I was like so psyched for it, and I lit my Swiftpoxy on fire. Yeah, I did. I don't know. I was having a day, and I went to grab my heat gun, and I grabbed my torch instead, and whoosh, everything went up. So anyhow, so okay guys, I'm glad you can hear me. And so what we're gonna do is we're gonna get started. So in order to do these, you're gonna need a sand it really well, paint your tumbler. Now you can split it if you want to. You can have white up at the top and blue down at the bottom, sort of for the water if you want to. I don't really know or think it makes a whole lot of difference one way or the other. And then you're going to need some alcohol inks. Now, these are my favorite alcohol inks for wood grain. And because it gives it depth and it gives it texture. So I put them all on, and it texturizes it. It makes it actually look like wood. And unlike a normal wood grain that most people do, where you're going from the top of the cup to the bottom of the cup, you are actually going around the cup. So that's why we're going to put it, you can do this, put it on your turner rod and do it this way if you want to hold it. Me personally, you know, arthritis, hey, I put it on my turner, and it comes out great. And then what I'll do is I let it sit for a minute, and then I put my lines on. What I use for my lines, I tried the brown and I didn't like it. It looked too, it actually, like, I had this really nice brown pen, and it looks orange, like it looked orange, and I was like, what the heck? Not cool. So this is just a Posca acrylic marker. You can get these on Amazon in single colors or in a huge pack. Either way, for those of you guys that are joining, sorry, we are having technical problems where nobody can comment on the post. So what will happen is you guys can comment, and then when they decide that they're going to fix it, all those comments will show up. I know it's happened in the past. So, but you guys can just go ahead, and I'm actually watching on my other screen, and I'm just trying to see if people are responding and stuff like that. And I did see somebody just put up a little heart, which was cool. All right, so enough chit chat. We're gonna get started, guys. So so part one right now is going to be put the wood grain onto the cup, get our lines on here, set this off to dry. You're going to need, let me go over some materials that you're going to need first of all, because I got ahead of myself. If you want to do the clay tentacle part, you're going to need another cup that's the same size as the one that you're doing. It also needs to be just plain. Don't do anything. You don't need to do anything to it. You can sand it. Don't put spray paint on it. And you're going to need some parchment paper, because it's actually what we are going to shape our tentacles onto, and then we're going to bake this. I like the baked clay. Some people do not like the baked clay. Personal choice. I'm not going to get into a war with it about it. Y'all do whatever you feel is best. There's some good air dry clays out there. One is called Das clay, and then the other is the Crayola clay, air dry clay. It's really good. You need to condition them really well. And the same with the Scuplty original clay. You have to condition them. By conditioning it, what it does is it softens the clay. It mixes the oils into the clay that have kind of come up to the top. And all it is basically it's kneading the clay. And you just use your fingers. You knead the clay a whole lot. And that's all you have to do. Where did I put my clay? Anyhow, I don't know where it is right now. So you're just going to keep squishing it until it's nice and soft. And then you can actually, you know, work the clay. The air dry clay, for me, I think it's a pain in the butt, because it dries out. It starts drying out. It get little flakes. You have to keep your fingers wet. It's just, for me, it's a pain. And I don't like it. But other people do. I will suggest to you, if you are wanting to do clay work, take the time and spend the money to get the better product, where you can buy polymer clays at like dollar stores, or even the stuff from like Michael's or Joann's and things like that. It's really not great clay. So take the time if you're real, because if you want your stuff to work and not crack and not do all kinds of weird stuff, you really, really want to have a good product, and that's all there is to it. And in my mind's eye, that's what it comes down to, is you know, you want to have a good product. I cannot believe this is happening here. Now my mouse decided that it doesn't want to work. Oh my God. Because I'm trying to get to the event. And I can't because my mouse has gone stupid. I don't know. I give up on that. Okay, so I'm going blind here, guys. I can't see anything. I can't look at anything because my computer just totally went stupid on me. So let's get started. We're going to do the wood grain first. So I'm going to move you guys up top. I'm going to show you how to put the wood grain on. Really simple. Super, 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 super simple. This is not hard at all to do. Anybody can do it. You need one of these. You're going to need some, it's called a chip brush. These are really cheap, like super cheap. Like I think you get like a pack of 3 or 4 different ones for a couple of bucks. They come in different sizes. I like this one. Don't clean these. You never clean them. When you're doing a wood grain, let them get raggedy, and the tips are all like funky here. They're all like spiky. That just adds to your wood grain. Like you get a beautiful, beautiful wood grain when you're doing that. So anyhow, I'm going to move you guys up top. So don't look at my messy room though, guys, because it's like a bomb in here. I've been trying to clean. you know, come on, we all do that. All right, I'm flipping you around. I hope I don't disconnect. All right. There we go. Okay, so I'm assuming y'all can see really well. Now, one of the things, so one of the colors I'm using, okay, so we're going to use teakwood, ginger, and you can just use one if you want, and caramel. Caramel is very light. It's almost kind of like a, I'm going to say like a pine color. And then the teakwood is much darker. A lot of times, and then the ginger kind of has like a yellow or orange or hue, which is great for super light wood when you're doing that. So sometimes I'll just add a little teeny tiny bit. Wood, working with alcohol inks, if you have never done it before, I just want to say, always cover up. Cover yourself, cover the things that are around you. And the reason is because it spatters, you know, with the brush. If you're just dripping it on, it's not so bad, but it does tend to splatter. And I got to show you guys this badass cup Beth Bryant made for me. Actually, she didn't make it for me. She did it in a live. And I was like, oh my God, I got to have that cup because it was so gorgeous. So this is made by the one and only Beth Bryant. She's just so, so famous. So awesome. I love her work so much. And anyhow, let's support each other. We all support each other in this world. You know what I mean? That's one of the best parts about the Tumblerpoxy Posse is there's no bullshit. There's no, pardon the language, but it's true. And no hate, no meanness. Everybody supports each other. It's super awesome. Shake your inks really good. Very important. Because basically it's alcohol with pigment in it. And it will settle to the bottom. So you really want to give it a really good shake. Make sure your lid is on really good. Because believe me, I've made that mistake where I thought that my lid was on and it wasn't, and I shook it and I had ink fly across the room. Yeah, I did. Okay, so all this is we're going to put a drop of ink and we're just going to brush. Now, it looks like a hot mess in the beginning. Truly it does. If you never did one of these before, It is a hot mess. You're just like, oh my gosh, how is this ever going to look good? But it will. It will. I will say, for those of you that are new that don't know about ink, one of the things, and I see this happen a lot with people when they post and they're like, oh my God, what did I do wrong? So when you put your ink on, when you put your little drop of ink on, anything that it touches, it sort of eats through. So if you put ink on top of ink that's already on, so even if it's dry, it will sort of, I don't want to say like cause it to separate or get weird. I'm going to show you. So I'm going to put a little drop on here. Do you see how it just sort of like ate through and lightened my design? So you do kind of want to be a little careful when you're doing your ink with that. So you know, try and get and brush very quickly. Don't let it sit, because when you let it sit, it will actually start to dry. This stuff starts to dry almost immediately. You can also see the speckles down here in the bottom. So don't worry about the bottom. That's all going to be covered with epoxy. So if you get a little speckle or two down there, don't worry about it. It's all cool. It's all good. No worries. We'll fly by the seat of our pants. As always. Now, you notice I'm not filling in every single spot, because of what I'm going to do now is I'm going to switch my colors. So this was the teakwood. Now I'm going to go into my ginger, which is the lightest of all of them. But this color it has a tendency to be kind of strange. So I usually do this second. Best part about inks is you don't like it, you can actually take this whole thing and spritz it with a good alcohol. Now, by good alcohol, I'm talking 90 or above. It's worth the money, guys, to buy the better stuff. As an artist, I've been doing art my whole life, and I'm pretty much a dinosaur at this point. I have found that it is not always frugal to buy stuff that is cheaper. Although we save a few dollars, sometimes it really, now we're switching to Carmel, it really does make a difference in our work. And also, sometimes the less expensive products, they don't work quite as well. You need to use more. And that's not frugal at all. So, you know, like if you can use a few drops of, let's say, the Tim Holtz, this is Tim Holtz Ranger. This is Ranger, Tim Holtz inks. I love these. And then I also love the TREX. That's my other favorite. Now what I'm doing is I'm just pulling this down. Now I'm just going to give it a good... And we're just going to keep brushing until that ink kind of absorbs. You see how it's starting to make its own design. And you just keep just coming down until you say, oh, hey, you know what? I think that's enough of the wood. Because all this, some of this is going to get covered by the water. Kind of even it out. Sorry that you guys can't comment and I can't see your comments. It's not the first time this has happened during a live. It's very frustrating because I know that you guys all have questions and you want to know what's going on and stuff, but just message me. I will try and get back with everybody later today so you can get started, because I did want this as a work along kind of thing. But I don't know why Facebook is bugging out. Okay, so technically that's our wood grain, and that's all done. And then you just take your brush and set it off to the side, and it actually enhances the tips as this ink dries, and it gets kind of scraggly. It's really cool. Now, you wouldn't use this brush on, let's say, you know, like purple or an orange cup or whatever. I'm talking just strictly for wood grain when you're doing the dark browns. As you go through, like, check and make sure that, you know, you have coverage. There's no white spots or no repelling. I learned something interesting. I was very thrilled about this when I did my other cup. Normally, I let my alcohol ink sit 24 hours. Now, mind you, I was just doing a little bit, you know, just a little bit here. So what I did was I was going to do my wave part, and I decided, you know what, the heck with it. I want to see what happens. So I took a little bit of Swiftpoxy. I think I was doing a cup, and I had like maybe, I don't know, it wasn't much at all. Might have been like a milliliter or two left. And I just dipped my finger in and I rubbed it over my wood grain. Oh my gosh, it like totally looked amazing, like right here. This was my first one of these that I did, and I learned, like, the waves came up way too high into this. I would have rathered my waves be down lower. And you can see where I burned my epoxy. Yeah, don't use a torch on your alcohol inks, guys. Use a heat gun, because yeah, you're gonna get a burn. I learned that. So okay, so now technically this is dry. You can see. So now we're gonna put our lines on. These pens are super awesome to work with. I love these a lot. You could even use like a Sharpie if you wanted to. A Crayola magic marker works really good. I saw a video with another artist, and they actually used it. They're one of their kids' magic markers, which was like, hey, oh my gosh, that's awesome. All right, so now we're going to do our lines. I always start at the bottom, and I'm going to use black. And the reason I'm going to use black is because, as you can see here on this one, because the wood grain is dark, it's going to show. And then once I get epoxy on here, this should lighten it up a little. This is going to brighten it a lot, so the black will kind of go into the recesses. We're going to see. I also did stuff like this, where this is kind of, I was trying to get like a shadow effect where wood had broken away, you know, where there are holes in the actual wood. I don't know, we'll see. But you know what, it's all about experimenting and trying. So hey, that's the way that goes. Okay, so what I like to do is, tip this a little bit here, is I'm going to start where my, I'm just going to lay a line down here. I'm going to try, you know, like I said, it doesn't have to be perfectly straight. The straighter the better, but, you know, I tried taping, and honestly, what a pain in the buttocks that was. No kidding. All right. Now, these little dots here, somebody said to me, why are you putting those little dots on there? That's really weird. Well, it's actually, if you look at the old ships, they were actually pieced together, and they used wooden, don't know what you call it. Oh my God. Wooden, pegs. in order to keep them closed. You know, to keep the ship held together. Which is kind of crazy when you think about it, because, you know, like here you are and you're out on the ocean, particularly the old whaling ships and things. They're out on the ocean and they're in a wooden boat. And all it is just held together with just some tar and, oh my gosh, like talk about a scary life, right? Okay, now on your next one, you want to come in between. So wherever your plank is from here to here, just draw yourself a line. I always put my little peg marks in as I go, just because you don't want to forget. And I tend to forget. If I don't do something right away, I'll forget it. There's no right and no wrong way to do this part. You can do as many planks as you want. You can do... Now keep in mind, you know, like normally with a ship, they would have been using a wider plank, probably something that was maybe 12 inches. So, you know, I try to keep my wood planks looking fairly uniform, but also the fact that as a ship is out to sea, sometimes things happened, and so they would have to repair as they went along, and sometimes there'd be extra boards on top until they could get into port. So there's really a lot of free license here when you guys are doing your planks, so don't worry about it. Also, if they're not 100% straight, don't worry about that either. Because let's face it, these guys were out on the high seas, they were rolling around, they were cutting wood by hand, you know, and that's kind of like, wow. And sanding it and everything, trying to get it to be, you know, right so that they didn't sink. If you do end up with a big, like, you know, like an area that squiggles, what I do is I just kind of come back in, straighten it out, and then fill in a little bit of the black. Like I said, because I do want some of this, particularly in the lower part, to look like there's some breaking away of the wood, because the octopus is going to be coming up the sides. And these don't have to be perfect. I mean, you know, if you want to make them perfect, then you can, of course, because you're the artist. It's totally up to you. Now this top one, I am going to come in and I'm going to split this because it is kind of a big area. You could actually have your turner on while you were doing this, if you wanted to. Personally, I tried that. I actually didn't work out so well for me, having the turner on, because I'm standing. And I wanted to stand while I was talking to y'all, because I want to be able to see your comments, which I cannot do because Facebook is being dumb. Okay, and now we just finish it up by taking that, whoops, see what I did? I actually just forgot my line. Some people actually will take these, like actually these, it's very rare for me to line these up. So you have this one and this one, they're lined up, and some people really like to do that, and that's okay. I like it to be a little less structured, but you know, now here it kind of came up. So what I want to do is I'm actually going to draw this line a little straighter, and then I want to kind of make it look like this darker area will kind of emulate where there's a hole in the you know, over time, and it's just been weathered and it's starting to kind of come apart. Remember too that, like, keep your synchronicity where you're putting your pegs in. Well, because this area came up, those pegs are going to be gone. They're not there. This is actually going to start breaking away. I'm only putting 2 here, and then you can kind of come back in, but you can see that as the black Posca dries, it sort of does blend in. I did try doing the putting the acrylic you know, lines down for the planks, and then doing the oh my god, the wood grain over the top of it, and that just totally didn't work. It totally did not work. It was not good. So there you go. So there's our wood. Now don't worry about this. Like I said, this is, you know, even though this isn't even here, because water is going to be coming up here, and I'm going to try and take my water line only to like where this line is. So I really don't want my water going much higher than that. Or I'm going to end up losing a lot of my cup, like I did in this one. I lost so much of the cup itself. Okay, so this is your part 1. Now we're going to work on our tentacles, and the tentacles are just awesome. I love working with clay. Clay is like one of my favorite things. It does take a little bit to get used to, honestly. It does. It takes a little practice working with the clay, but once you get it, it's really, really, really cool. All right, so now what I'm gonna do, this is my old cutting board from the kitchen. Is like so ancient, but I thought, you know what, this is so perfect for crafting. I love it, absolutely love it. Okay, so in order to do tentacles, what we're going to do is, like I said, now because we're going to bake this in the oven, we're going to use a cup that is just sanded, and this is the one that I usually make my tentacles on. So I end up having like it's really great actually. If you have a bad cup, like a cup that gets dented or whatever, and you use that size cup a lot, save it. Don't throw it away. Save it. It's actually wonderful because then you can do all your baking on that cup over parchment. So we're going to actually take parchment paper, we're going to wrap it around the cup, and then we're going to bake it. So by conditioning the clay, what we're doing is we just take a piece of clay, and all you do is you squash it. That's all you do. Just squash in the clay. Get it nice and soft. That really, 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 really makes it so much easier. The more you squish it, this is the white. Now they have, this is the Scuplty original clay, and they have several different colors. They have black, they have white, they have a terracotta color, and then they have like it's almost like a face beige, I guess you would say. I like this, and it's number one, it's the cheapest of all of the clays. It's out of all the Sculpties, it's very inexpensive, and I love the results. I've never had bad results with it, and so that's why I work with it. Okay, so as we do in our tentacle And after we condition our clay, and you kind of know when it's soft enough, because in the beginning, the clay is really hard. When you're first getting the block of it, it's really hard. And then you can buy an actual liquid conditioner, which I think is just like oil. You don't need it. Just work it with your hands. It's really great. If you have an old pasta maker, like the kind Grandma had with the crank, which is basically what they sell to condition the clay for a lot of money, it's awesome to do. Trying to find my post. Where's my live? Oh. Trying to find my live so I can check. There it is. Oh, hey, guess what? I can see the comments on the other post. So I cannot see comments on mine, but I can see comments because I'm looking at the I'm looking at my laptop here, and I can see you guys' comments. So that's awesome. So let me see who said what, and let me catch up. Hi Mojo, hi Pamela. It's not letting me see all of the comments, but that's okay. All right, there we go. Okay, Angela, Amy Lee, Sherry. Hi Sherry. Okay, cool. All right, so now if you overwork your clay and it gets like it's kind of sticky, what you can do is, because what will happen is as you try and work with it, it'll start to like smear and get weird. You can just set it off to the side for a few minutes and it'll kind of come down, because your hands are warm. And as you work with the clay, your hands warm up the clay too. All right. So we're going to need a few of these I call them snakes, which are super easy, like I said. And you do kind of want them to be, I'm going to say, I guess this is maybe a 1/2 inch thick here. And the reason is because as we build this up our cup, we are going to shape it. So I don't want to go below this line with my clay. So I'm just going to kind of tack it on there. I'm using this to sort of shape where I'm at, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to end up pulling them off and putting the parchment paper down. Remember, the tentacles sort of have like a little tapered end on them, and you just kind of get it into place of where you want it. All right, and now once you have sort of the general shape of it, what you're going to do is you're just going to kind of flatten. You don't want to flatten it out all the way, but you do want to kind of squish it down a little bit. So what I'm doing is I'm leaving the sides rounded, but I'm kind of flattening out this top part. Okay. You could roll this if you wanted to. Just take a little thing to roll it. I don't know if you can see what I'm doing. I'm going to turn it this way. Let me see. Let me get my horrible internet to catch up. There we go. Okay. I want to not do that. Angela, I would not ever put the clay in a refrigerator, because what it does is it changes the chemical values on it. And, you know, hey, if it works for you, that's great. I do not recommend putting it in a refrigerator to cool it down. It will literally cool down in just a couple of minutes. So, you know, like I said, everybody's different. Everybody has their own ways. Just in my experience of doing these things for over 30 years, I guess, working with clay anyhow, I've found some things don't work good for me. And it also, it can change it, because we want to bake this. We want to get this right into the oven, and I don't want to have any temperature change. One of the things I do want to tell you guys about Scuplty original clay when you're baking it. You do not want to follow the box instructions. I think that's probably going to be one of the few times that you hear me say, do not follow the instructions on the box. And the reason that you do not want to follow the instructions on the box is because what they're talking about is you baking that clay by itself on a parchment paper, on a cookie sheet, in your oven for however long it is. But because we're actually baking it on tumbler, and a lot of times when I do my tumblers, like my gnomes and other 3D stuff, I want to not blow my seal in my cup. Your seals are good up to about 240 degrees, which is about, you know, water boils at, I believe it's 212 degrees. And when, you know, you don't really want it to be a whole lot hotter, and you can, but you can push it just a little bit. You can push it up to the 240. I don't like going that high. The most I will do is 220 degrees. And the way that you do it is take your project, whatever clay that you have it on your cup, get it all ready to go. Once you have it ready to go, put it on a piece of, on a cookie sheet, piece of parchment. I don't use the tinfoil pans, actually, because I found that they get so hot. It's tinfoil, so I don't use that. But anyhow, you guys do whatever, like I said, do whatever you want to do when it comes to putting it on something. I wouldn't recommend putting it directly into the oven. This is non-toxic clay, so I don't worry about it hurting my, you know, my family when I'm, you know, after I'm done. So that's always a good thing. You take it, put it on your plate. Sorry, put it on your cookie sheet, and then put it in your oven when your oven is cold. Turn the temperature to 220, no higher than that, 220. And then as the oven warms up, it actually will evenly warm things. And then once it hits temperature, because most ovens kind of beep and they, you know, let you know when the preheat is done. You set your timer for exactly 20 minutes. When the 20 minutes is over, shut the oven off. Do not open the door. Think of it like a cheesecake. You don't want to peek. What it does is it creates what's called the kiln effect. And with the kiln effect, what it does is it evenly heats up and evenly cools everything down. This will prevent you from getting cracking. And that's really huge when you're doing clay work. One of the biggest problems is the chance that an inconsistent temperature, something that shocks the clay, gets too hot, too quick, gets too cold too quick can cause your clay to crack. And then, geez, here you are and you've done all this work and now it's wrecked. So you definitely want to consider trying it that way, you know, and if it doesn't work, well, modify. And you know, what works for one doesn't work for everybody. And I totally am cool with, you know, you guys trying new ways, and let me know how it worked out. Let me know how you did it and what worked. As long as you're doing it safely, that's all that matters. That's all that matters. Okay, so once I get okay, I kind of have enough of these now. You know, you can do 8 if you want to, because that's how many little feet an octopus has, but it's totally not necessary because, you know, some of them might be under the water. Some of them, you know, I don't know, they don't all have to be exposed. You can do that. And now what we're going to do is, now this isn't done because now we have to make the little suckers that go on there. So what I do is I roll out and make like a little skinny snake. Mojo, you can get the clay really anywhere. Like, I know for a fact that both Michael's Crafts and Joann Fabrics sell the Scuplty original clay and the Crayola and the DOS. I've seen the DOS clay at Michael's. I've not seen it at Joann Fabrics. I know nothing about a Hobby Lobby. I know a lot of people like Hobby Lobby. We just don't have one near us. I think even like places like Walmart have it. Yeah, you can pretty much get it anywhere. And of course, if that doesn't work, well, there's Amazon, because you know what? Amazon has everything. Like, oh my God, you can buy anything on Amazon now. How many of you actually remember when Amazon got started and it was nothing but books? Yeah, at one time. And then they went to music, so you could buy your CDs. And then they got into DVDs and VHS tapes. And then now, oh my gosh, now everything is on Amazon. Okay, so what we did is we cut up a bunch of little balls, little pieces. I like to roll them into a little ball. You don't want them too big and you don't want them too thick. You kind of want to think it's thinner at the top of the tentacle and it gets wider down the bottom of the tentacle. So you do want to kind of figure some of them are going to be wider, some of them are going to be smaller. And then this one here, I actually wanted to have like a bigger tentacle, so I'm just going to kind of squash this one down a little bit more. As I squash it, it gets a little thicker. I'm sorry, a little bit thinner. If you get like ripples or weird things, just the warmth of your hand going over the clay will actually smooth it out. Takes a little practice, but you can do it. And also the pressure that you're using when you're spreading the clay. If you squish heavily, so there's definitely like a thing where you need to get your own gauge of how hard to press down on the clay, because if you press too hard, then what ends up happening is it squashes. So you can see it just like squishes it out, which isn't always what you want to have happen. But I'm just going to move this. You can just see me moving this clay. It's really easy. That's because I conditioned it. I warmed it up. It's soft. And I like this clay a lot. Now, there are other clays that they have, like the DOS. I'm sorry, not the DOS. The, talking about Scuplty clay. The black one, the red, the terracotta. They all move differently. So every clay, every single kind of clay, even, you know, honestly, the Crayola, the DOS clay, which are air dry clays, those all move very differently, and you have to kind of figure it out. But it's not hard. And once you get started, it's really, it'll only take you just a little bit to figure it out. So don't get frustrated with it. I love working with clay. I find it like really soothing. Amazon is amazing. I'm using, yeah, now there's different kinds of Sculpty clay too, not just color. There's a bunch of them. Make sure you're getting the Sculpty original, and it says Sculpty original clay. I would show you the box. However, they have changed the box. So that's a pointless for me to show you the box. Okay, so what I'm doing is I've got my tentacles. Now what I'm trying to do is I just want to flatten this down. I really don't want these tentacles like as thick as they are. I like the shape that I've got, but what I'm doing is I'm just kind of smoothing this out. And as I smooth it, it's going to kind of squish it out and flatten it into the cup a little bit more. I leave this part a little thicker, which is fine. This is going to take, now remember too, this is a 3D tumbler. So we are going to put, when we're done, we're going to put our epoxy over this, but it is going to be sticking up. So the you're not going to keep putting epoxy on here until it's smooth. It's a 3D cup, so this is actually gonna stick out. For these little parts, these little tips on the tentacles, one of the things that I recommend is first of all, don't make it too tiny a point here, or it won't grip. And also, chances are you're gonna have to secure some of them with some kind of adhesive. Like, I really like, what the heck's it called? This. It's okay. You don't want to put on super thick though. Like, don't put it on super thick. You end up with it squishing out from underneath, and I don't like that. I don't want that. This one here just doesn't seem to want to do what it's supposed to do. So let's flatten it out. I think it's... Get some texture going on here. Also, when I use this cup, because this is sort of my clay cup, I don't care if I scratch it. This one has a blown seal on it. So, like I said, there's always a use for your stuff, guys. You don't need to throw it away. Save it. Never know. All right. Now you can put a piece that goes around the bottom. And I will be doing that. I'm going to be adding that on here, but I want my clay to be thin. But first of all, I'm going to do my little tentacle thingies, my little suckers, which are really easy. Okay, so have our shape. Then what we're going to do is we're going to just add these little things on here. I think you can see what I'm doing. And you're going to kind of space them out a little bit, but remember that, you know, you do want it uniform. So There's always two little suckers, and then you just kind of tap them down so they adhere. Now sometimes they don't, and that's okay. That's why you keep you have your E6000 or your Fusion Tech, whatever you want to use for your adhesive. As you go up, these little circles get smaller. We're going to get a little bit smaller, but they do continue with 2 all the way to the top, except for the very tip, very end one. I'm only going to do 1 of these live because I think you guys, well, maybe 2. I don't know. Get a couple. They can kind of poke over the side. And you can kind of decide how many you want. Some people like to do a lot, others don't. You know, it's really, like I said, it's a personal thing. You're the artist, you decide. Okay. They are side by side though. That is one thing. Is remember with tentacles, they kind of go 2 by 2 as you go up. And they are kind of round. So think of like, this is actually like Ursula. You know, if you want to do like an Ursula cup. I did an Ursula cup. Oh my gosh, came out so cool. I was like, amazing. All right. I'm gonna get our clay on here. There we go. This is so much better now that I can actually see people commenting, yay. If you find they're too big, just pop them off. Just kind of scrape them off and just take less clay and do them. That's all. So I'll just do the one so you can kind of see what I'm going to do here. I'll just get that on there. And you do want to kind of press them down a little bit so they sort of squish into the clay that's underneath. Do watch your fingernails if you have fingernails, but I actually have some little clay tools that I got, which I love them, and they also double when I want to do like mica cups or things like that. I just love those little tools. I think they're amazing. I got them from Southern Sassy Sparkles. They're like $5. Totally worth it. She has 2 different sets, and this is the set here. So you get your silicone tip tools down here, and then you have these dotting tools up at the top, which are amazing because the dotting tools we're actually going to be doing some mandala cups later. This month, probably. Well, actually in July now because, well, here we are. It's the end of the month. Oh my God, can you believe it? I can't believe it. I'm just like, wait, where the heck did June go? That's not right. It just seems like summer's flying by. I don't like winter. I'm not a winter girl. I really hate winter. And, okay, and then take your silicone tip tool and you can just gently touch up if you see that there's like lines and things like that. I really recommend if you really want to do any kind of serious clay work or mica hatching work and stuff like that, these are absolutely amazing. You just light pressure rub it over it. Smooths it out. Super good. Super good. It's also great for doing texturing around the edges. And then what I like to do is, to get the correct look, you're going to come into the middle of this little sucker and you're just going to press down. Boop. Look at that. See, you get your little suckers. Try and go straight in so that you're not getting like the side of your tool, making an indentation in your clay. And I don't actually mind if they get a little bit deep, because I think it looks really cool, particularly when you bake it. It will actually look super, super cool. You don't want to like go all the way down through your clay, but having some there that's, you know, it's really awesome. I like it. I like the look a lot. Okay, so I have all these guys on here. One more. Okay. So again, when you bake your clay, you're going to take this, you're going to put it onto your, on it. If you're going to bake it just like this, on this, usually I'll take a piece of parchment paper and put it underneath. The reason that I'm going to do that is because I'm going to take it off of this tumbler and I'm going to put it onto another tumbler. So that said, you can also use the tip of your silicone tool as well to make your circle. So when you're doing that, let me get that right. Put this into the oven with your parchment paper. I'm going to have to lift these off and put my parchment paper on because, you know, I don't know. I didn't think about it before. But if you were going to leave it on your tumbler, then you could just bake this just like this. Put this into your oven on a cookie sheet, cold oven. Turn it to 220, let it come up to temperature. Once it's at temperature, bake it for 20 minutes and then shut the oven off. Do not open the oven door and for at least 4 hours and let it cool down. And then that should stop any kind of cracking or any kind of issue with your clay. All right, so there's our tentacle. Boop. Looks really cool. Yay, I love it. Once these are dry, I mean, once they're baked, you will be able to paint them. You can paint them before you put them onto the cup. Oh, I'm glad you're enjoying it, Mojo. That's awesome. All right. So once you get that on there, and you bake your tentacles, then you can paint them. Generally, you know, you can do gray, like a darker gray, and then what I would do is do the whole thing with a light gray, and then do your tentacles a little bit darker gray, and then the circles, the little you know, indent here, you can just kind of take a little dot of something that's a little bit darker. So, you know, you could take your dark gray. Usually, you know, I make my own paint a lot of times, so I'll take black paint, mix it with white. I'll get all my first application done. Then I'll come back in. I'll add a little more white paint, or dark, whatever, you know, or go the other way and add a little bit of black paint, get a little bit darker, do the little sucker parts, and then add just a little bit more dark paint, and then I will have my, for my very, very center. If you want to go that way, you can also make the inside of these very light make the sucker really dark. For Ursula, what you would do is you would kind of split this where her tentacle itself would be kind of on this edge part. You would want to do this before you put these little guys on here. You want to split this so that you kind of see how I'm going to draw this little line here. You would do black for this part and then dark purple all the way in the center, and you would do the same on the other side. So, you know, you would have this, let me just draw it on here so you guys can see. So we're talking about Ursula. You would come down like this. You would not scratch it. I'm just trying to show you where this line is. From here to the edge of the cup will be black. Here to the edge of the cup is black. Then this middle part, this big area in between here and here, is dark purple. Then you'd have a little dark purple dot in the middle, and then the sucker would be a very pale purple. So what you could do is take like a dark royal purple to do her tentacle. Actually, what I like to do is take some purple, mix just a little tiny black into it. It gives it this really great deep texture. One of the things when you're adding any kind of paint or color, remember that black will darken, white will brighten or lighten. So if you wanted to you know, play around with that, I actually am thinking about doing some tutorials on paint and how to get different texture looks and things like that, if there's interest. All right, so now we're gonna bake. I'm gonna finish putting these on. I'm gonna bake it, and then there you go. Now, the other thing, next thing that we're gonna do in this live, I don't know how long I've been running, so I need to kind of like get an idea of how long I've been going, because one of the problems with Facebook is that it only allows for so long for a live, and I don't want to run out of time. Oh, thank you, Mojo. Thank you. I just love to teach. I love to teach people things, and like I said, I'm a font of useless knowledge, and I really thoroughly enjoy it. Oh, cool. Well, we have lots of time then. I'm super pumped for that. Okay, so just to recap for all the new people, and you can guys can't, this will be saved. I know Beth has a like a tutorial list somewhere. I'll ask her to add it to that, but also it will be saved, and I will have this on my YouTube page, which is nothing but the tutorials that I've done here. It just was easier because Facebook for some reason was deleting them, which is really irritating. Because then I'd say, oh, I did a live on that, and I'd try to find it, and I couldn't find it, and then I found out that they were being deleted, which really stinks. So that's why I made my own YouTube channel. And like I said, it's just for tutorials. So you're welcome to join that. I only ever use Tumblerpoxy and Swiftpoxy. Ever for my my epoxies, just because it's a superior product. Okay, so to recap, we just finished doing the clay work. Like I said, typically an octopus has 8 tentacles. Trying to get 8 tentacles around this cup is really tricky because the cup is not it's not super big. This is just actually, I love these cups. These are like one of my favorite cups to work with. And these come from Michael. It's like, I think they're like, gosh, I want to say, when you buy them in bulk and you can get like, I think it's like a case of 18 or something like that, they're like $5 or $6, $5.50 a piece, like super cheap. and they're great for testing. So if I muck it up, I don't worry about it. I don't care. You know, it's $5, big deal. And plus that, I'll have another pencil holder or something. The one thing I did find out about them is this seam down here at the bottom can cause some havoc when you're doing, you're putting your epoxy over it. So you do want to make sure that you seal cups, particularly with glitter, and then wood grains or alcohol ink cups. Just be aware that sometimes there's bubbles that will form in that particular area, and that's true with any cup that has a seam on it. I don't care who the manufacturer is, where you get it from. There's a possibility that there's going to be some bubbles that come in there. Gladys, I'll post it. It's called Lights of Valhalla, and it's just at my, like I said, it's my YouTube tutorial page for mostly Tumblerpoxy. I did a few tutorials in I think it was Tumbler Tutors. I don't do tutorials really anywhere other than here, BJ's now, just because life got crazy busy and whatnot. But I have a billion things that I want to teach you all, so I love it. And it's easier for me to do it this way than to try and I don't know, like I'm not really good with the internet to be honest, and because I'm not good with the internet, it means my options are pretty limited. Okay, so now what we did was and then again on the recap, we put our wood grain planks in. This is just it's just a wood grain pattern. I used Carmel, Ginger, and Teakwood by Tim Holtz, Ranger inks. I did it sort of a little step at a time. Again, you know, please feel free to rewatch the video, or for you newer people, go ahead and watch the video. This is part 1, which was supposed to happen last night, but because of the power of Facebook being kind of jerky, that didn't happen. So wouldn't even let me go live. Nobody could join. It was a super pain. Yes, you're going to notice that this is not even. It's okay, because what we're going to do is we're going to put water down here with our alcohol inks, and I'm actually going to use Swiftpoxy on this. And the reason that I want to use Swiftpoxy on this is because I'm going to do the next part tonight, and then you guys will be able to see. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be attaching, these are the tentacles that I made before, and then what I did was I went to lift them off the cup, and this is one of the reasons that you guys do want to use parchment paper. So you see I made this border down here on my original. Let me just show you. So for the borders, you do want to cover this seam here with your clay. Usually I do about that thickness for my border. I do not take it down over the edge of the cup. I only come around here, and all you do is just roll out a piece of clay out. I can show you if you really want to know. Yes, Gladys. Yes, indeed. But anyhow, before I digress and get going, get off. So what happened was I had made this to go on another cup. I went to lift it off, and here I'm thinking, oh, I'm just going to run my X-Acto blade up underneath the edge. It'll loosen it up nice. Well, guess what? It broke. But you know what? Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter that this broke. And the reason that it doesn't matter is because I'm going to actually be gluing it on anyhow, so I'm going to be able to repair all of that. The other thing that you do want to be aware of when you're making your clay, okay, you want to have a certain thickness. You want to make sure that you have at least 1/8 of an inch thickness on your clay. The reason for that is when it gets thinner than that, if you guys can see here, this is super thin. This is just going to shatter and break off. So that's why I suggest, like, take an old rolling pin. And if you don't have one, it's okay. Go to the dollar store. If you don't have that and you have, you know, some wooden dowels hanging around the house, kids' toys are great because sometimes they have like old kitchen, you know, like my granddaughter she loved the kitchen stuff. She called it her cook enough. So she was always cooking us plastic food. And then, you know, she kind of grew out of it. And I saved her rolling pin for like forever because it was perfect for rolling clay. It allows you to have some control over your product, over your clay. So definitely take some time. Like I said, these pieces, I'm not worried about them being broken because when I glue them onto my cup, they're going to be fine. And then I can repair any of these little mistakes. And what I'll do is I'll repair them. You cannot bake this in the oven once you put your epoxy on here, guys. That's why I said you got to have a separate cup in order to be able to do the clay work if you're going to use the Scuplty original. If you're going to use the DOS or the Crayola air dry, then you really, you know, it's a great option. Works really well. You just need to be careful of the cracking that happens because that air dry clay cracks terrible. Yes, Sabrina. Yes, exactly. Exactly. And don't forget coupon day. Coupon day is the bomb. Oh my gosh. Let's face it, guys. Crafters, coupons. Oh yeah. But I do like the fact that they actually have those cups in white. I think they have them now in white, black, and the stainless. So that's really cool. And I have worked right over the white ones. And they work great. They really do. Particularly for like, you just do a really super light sanding on them with, actually, I'm finding, honestly, steel wool. Steel wool is amazing for sanding. And it doesn't make like nasty like lines on stuff. And sanding your cups to prep. I found that using a, oh my gosh, I think it's called Scotch grill pad, which is a rough texture, and the Barkeep's Friend that is actually the powder. Put that on, wet your cup, put that on, scrub the heck out of it with your, with that scrubby pad, and then rinse it off, just wash it. Oh my gosh, what a difference. It is so easy and fast because let's face it, you got to wash your cups anyhow when you're done. All that good stuff. It's just a step save for me. Okay. So, we're going to have our tentacles. And some of these, like I said, they're super, mine are too thin down at the bottom. I'm going to need to do a little repair work there, which is okay. I mean, you know, I've been doing this long enough. So just take that as a little word of warning. Try and have 1/8 of an inch thick. And, you know, it's worth having a ruler or something. And it doesn't even need to be a whole, like a 6, I'm sorry. Okay, one of the guides I got, this is double-sided sticky tape. Your clay should never really be much thicker than this, and I think this is 1/8 inch, so that's what you want. You want your clay to be about this thickness. It'll hold up. You're not going to get that cracking and those issues. So that'll be a minimum. anyhow. All right, so now what we're gonna do, because like I said, this is part 1 and 2 jammed together. I do have this other cup that I did. So I did 2. Yeah. This is the one I just did. This is the one I did before, so that I would be able to go into our next step. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna put this on my crappy turner. Ugh, I hate this turner so much. My double is, well, one side went the other day and now the other side is acting up, so that's out. Okay. All right, so let me get, give me just a second. I need to get out my inks. I need to get my ink, and I need to get a little thing to put down underneath of this, because I'm going to show you guys how to do the water. And then that'll finish up this part. We're going to use Swiftpoxy so that it's dry for tonight. Super excited. All right. So what are y'all working on, guys? What do you guys gotta remember, don't forget. Don't forget, we're pushing it to the limit in June, okay? I'm gonna draw those contest people tomorrow. I'd originally wanted to do it today. Unfortunately, the live didn't work out last night, so I have to push it back a day. But we're gonna get some cool random people, because you guys gotta try new stuff. I want you all trying new things. It's so fun. It's so fun to try new things. And yeah, it gets frustrating. Oh my God, sometimes I just want to rip my hair out and I'm like, oh my God, this is the worst thing I've ever made. I hate it so much. But then I learned something. I learned something new that I never did before. And I refuse to get caught in that trap of doing the same thing over and over and over again. Guys, another little tip from Kiri Tip. I pinched this off my husband because I needed it. This is a level. It's a little work level. Super light, super easy to use. If you want to make sure that your turner is level when you're doing stuff, but also you want to make sure that you're underneath, so your turner might be level. Like when I put, it's really hard to do this cup, and the reason that it would be hard to find out if this cup is actually level is because it tapers. So I'm going to check the rod back here. I want to make sure that this little bubble, you can't see with my fat hand in the way, this little bubble right here, let me slide this down so you could see, okay, the little bubble, and 2 lines, there's a line here and a line here. If you've never used one of these, the little water bubble will move back and forth. So what we're going to do is we're going to lay this right on the rod, and we're going to check, and we're going to make sure that this bubble is in the middle, and it's not quite there. It's not quite there, which means that this back end here is off just a tiny bit, like maybe, I don't even know, it's like a couple of sheets of paper's worth. So what you can do, little trick, take a paper towel, so if it's just that little tiny bit, and I like to actually put my turner on top of this old cutting board when I'm doing this. So I'm just going to raise that up. I'm going to put my paper towel underneath of it. And now you can see my bubbles right there in the middle. Yay! So I know that this is level. Now the other thing I always check is I want to make sure that this part here is level too. And it's kind of hard sometimes when you get your stuff because this poor turner has been through so much. Funny story, guys. Funny story. I hate the color pink. Well, for years I hated the color pink. You could not catch me with anything pink. I just, particularly this color, this hot pink, drives me nuts. Reminds me of Barbie. So I started getting supplies and doing things and whatever, and I ordered black because, you know, hey, Viking, just like, hey, ooh, get the black stuff. Yeah. Well, they sent me a pink one. And then I got something else. Oh, I was doing bath bombs and soaps and things, and I put it, I ordered black. Guess what I got? Hot pink. Yeah, my bath bomb press, hot screaming pink. Then I got another turner. Okay, now it's level. So now I know my turner is completely level. Super awesome. Get one. Get yourself one. They're not super expensive. You can pick them up probably even at Dollar Tree now. I know they have like a little home improvement area. So go ahead. Okay, so now for our water, what we're going to do is I'm going to use a couple of different things. So I use 3 colors of ink. I use a TREX. I love these. I absolutely love TREX. It's like one of my most favorite. So this is Tidal Teal. So pretty. So pretty. This is Deep Sea Blue. And also we have Indigo by Tim Holtz. This is the Ranger inks, Tim Holtz inks. These are great too. Absolutely love them. And then for my waves and all that good stuff, I always use my Piniata. I have not had the opportunity to try Mermaid Trash, which I hear amazingly awesome things about. But make sure you shake your alcohol inks if they've sat around for a while, and make sure your lids are on really good. Oh my God, don't do what I did. Yeah, I've done it. You go to shake those inks and the lid's not on all the way, and boom. Oh my God, what a mess. Alcohol ink. Luckily, alcohol inks do come off fairly easily by shooting them with some alcohol. So I generally always have my little handy dandy spray bottle of alcohol just in case. All right, so we got everything shook up. I don't leave my lids off. I may or may not use this indigo. I'm not really sure. It's going to depend on how this is looking, because this is like real dark. But I love this what's it called? Deep Sea Blue. I gotta get more because it's almost gone. And then this is my all-time favorite for any mermaid kind of waves and beaches. I want to try one of these with glitter. Has anybody done one of these with glitter? I think that'd be like the bomb. Totally awesome. Okay, so now we're going to mix up our Swiftpoxy. Swiftpoxy part A and B. So now you got to listen to me yap at you for 5 whole minutes, because you know how Swiftpoxy is. We do have to mix that. And like I said, I love Swiftpoxy. I think, I don't know. I just absolutely love it. It's a little hinky to get used to, because there's some differences. First of all, it's a different viscosity, I guess, you know, than Tumblerpoxy. So when we have, when we're mixing and we're thinking, oh my God, this is like really thick. This is, but it is what it is. And it works awesome. All right, I gotta be quiet here for a minute because I want to make sure that I measure properly. This is also with Swiftpoxy, you need to be absolutely sure that your measurements are correct. So, first of all, these bottles, if you don't have them, get them, because these are awesome. I used to try and use those FIFO bottles, and yeah, I know everybody likes them. I hated them. And the whole syringe thing's not for me. I am, I'm a medicine cup gal. I love my medicine cups. Make sure that when you put in your part A, I always put my part A in first because it's the thickest. When I put it in, I always let it sit for just a couple seconds just to make sure that it gets all the way out to the edges. And the reason that I do that is because sometimes, because it is really thick, it will sort of make like a little indentation. So where it appears, okay, I have the correct amount in here, which I'm going to do 12.5 of the part A, 12.5 of part B. I like to have extra because I do want to be able to move these things. Before I put my part B in, I'm going to grab my heat gun because we're going to need that in order to move our ink. Hey Cindy, how are you? I haven't seen you posting anything on the challenge page that I'm doing. I want to see all those beautiful, beautiful, beautiful new creations that you guys are making. And remember, it's not about being perfect. It's about trying something new. It's about pushing your limit and getting through that blockage of fear of, oh my God, I can't make that. Oh my gosh, I'm so afraid to do that. I'll tell you, if you're that afraid to do something, you best believe that I'm going to be right here behind you, kicking you in the butt, going, do it. Just get past that fear. Do not let yourself be eaten by the fear. Hold on one second here. I need to find a plug for my heat gun. God, I need more outlets. Yeah, I'm going to tag it down at the bottom of this live because I really want you all to get in on it. I do. It's like, it isn't even about the cool stuff I'm giving away. It's, I want to see you guys trying new things. It's so easy. It's so easy to get stuck in that rut of doing the same stuff over and over and over and over again. And you know, the thing of it is we could be really, really awesome at doing one thing. You know, like some people are like totally awesome at doing ombres, or, you know, me for the longest time, all I ever wanted to make was my little stained glassy cups, and I did them over and over and over and over and over and over again, and I did all kinds of different cool ones and everything. And then, you know, people kind of got bored with that. They got bored with it. So, you know, as business people, we need to grow. We need to keep on growing and keep on expanding our limits. And that's kind of one of the reasons that I wanted to do this, is a motivational. Okay, so now we are gonna do Swiftpoxy. So part A, part B in here, and now we're just gonna stir our Swifty. Who's tried this? Have you guys all tried Swiftpoxy? Like, do you love it or do you love it? You want to talk about making your life so easy. Oh my God. This stuff, it's like totally a game changer. I mean, I love Tumblerpoxy, don't get me wrong, and I will continue to use it because I do so many different things. Tumblerpoxy is amazing for slow projects, big projects, tabletops, resin geode work, things like that. You know, stuff you need more work time, because you get almost a half hour. Really, seriously, you can actually work it for like a half an hour, and no problems at all. With Swiftpoxy, it's so fast. It's like you got to mix it for 5 minutes, and then you have maybe a 15-minute window. I do find that after about 8 or 9 minutes, it starts getting like thick. So it makes it harder. Oh, come on, Cindy. How can I help you? How can I help you get past that? You can do it. I know you can. I want to see something new from you. Anything. Doesn't matter what it is. Doesn't matter. If you've never made a cup before, I'm telling you, try something super easy. Don't ever compare yourself to what others are doing. We all have different skill levels. We all have different skills, actually. So, you know, me, I've been working with epoxy for like 8 years. I've been doing tumblers now for, oh my God, I don't even know, a couple of years anyhow. You know, for me, there's things that are easier than others. There's still some stuff I haven't tried. I think one of the reasons that I want to do the push it to the limit in June is because I found myself constantly doing like the same types of stuff. Like, I love my geometric cups. That's another thing I was doing. You know, it's basically coloring with glitter. How can that be bad? And I love them, and they come out beautiful. But there's still so many different things that I've never done or never tried. And if I continue to just keep working on, you know, my geometric cups and whatever, I'm never going to do that because they are tedious and time consuming. So it's definitely worth giving it a shot, giving it a try. All right, let's see. So now we've been mixing for 3 minutes. Oh, I hear you there. I'm the same way. I'm the same way. I'm super picky. When I was doing seamstress work, because I had my own Celtic Renaissance wedding business, I did, you know, wedding dresses and things that were all beautiful. I was so picky. Like, I mean, I literally had to learn the phrase, if you can't see it from the back of a galloping horse, it doesn't count. Because I would be tearing out seams and picking things apart. And I do the same thing with my art, where I'll be doing like a mandala dot painting or something like that, and I'll look at it and I can see something that's off by like a mile, and other people don't even notice it. So I totally understand being meticulous, but also, you know, you got to try new stuff. You gotta try new stuff. I still haven't done an ombre yet. I want to try that. I mean, I know that that's like one of the most, even though it's like only like a couple of colors going together, those are pretty hard. Oh, that's the bomb, Gladys. That's so cool. Yay. Congratulations to the happy couple. Freya bless them both. That's awesome. I get it, Cindy. I do. I really do. It's like, takes time. Takes time. All right, let's see. All right, so 4 minutes. We got 1 more minute to stir. Okay. All right. Swiftpoxy. Remember, guys, when you're doing this, one of the things I did learn was you got to make sure you scrape and make sure you get, like, literally put your stick all the way down the bottom and scrape. The other thing I found, like, really huge to do is I lift my stick up. And I know some people go, oh, that puts too much air in it. It doesn't. Actually, dropping it from, if you just kind of, if you went like this, I don't know if you, then yeah, that's going to add air. But by taking it and bringing it around and then dropping it from high, what it actually does is it drives the epoxy down, and it will actually cause the bubbles to pop up. All right. So now the first thing I want to do is I'm going to coat my wood grain. And the reason that I want to coat my wood grain is because I'm not really sure. Oh, darn. I'm not really sure if my... Hang on a second, guys. I think I unplugged my turner. No, I unplugged. Oh, boy, that was slick. I unplugged. In order to plug in my heat gun, I just unplugged all my stuff. So, how dumb was that, right? I have things here. I don't even know what they do. I have no idea. Need more, definitely need more outlets. Okay, now let's try. There we go. All right, all right. Woo. Okay, so got our thing going. Can you guys see okay? Do I need to move this down more? I don't know. Can you see? What the heck's going on here? All right, this looks okay on my screen. All right, now, and you can see, look how fast those bubbles are coming up. This is starting to get warm. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put a little bit over my wood grain. I just want to protect it. Super thick. It's funny, like, I got so used to working with Tumblerpoxy, and then when I started working, you know, which hasn't been very long, working with the Swiftpoxy, I had to, like, totally learn how to redo everything. Because I was so used to doing, you know, my Tumblerpoxy just the way I wanted to, and kind of had a mind of its own, and my own, and it's crazy. All right, so this turner is was my first turner. No, my second turner. My first turner died. Is like on its last legs, but I love it because it goes in both directions, and that is huge, particularly for the type of work that I do. When you're doing stuff that needs to, you know, you got to be paying attention. I do like a lot of mica cups, and sometimes the mica will start moving in the wrong direction, which is a pain. So I can just flip the way that it is. Now, when you're doing inks, you do need a little more epoxy than you normally would use. Okay, we're going to let this kind of turn. I just want to make sure I have my bottom covered really good. Hey, I did the bottom. I remembered to do the bottom, guys, all by myself. None of y'all had to remind me. Because you guys, anybody who knows me knows, I always forget the bottom. I have done whole cups and forgot the bottom. Okay. So now, I'm just going to switch gloves out. Okay. I need to get this. I did find that I'm a little more sensitive to the Swiftpoxy than I am the Tumblerpoxy. So I will be doing lives, but I'll probably do more lives with Tumblerpoxy than, I don't know. We'll see how it goes. Still trying to find a respirator that I can use and do a live because I can't. Now, unlike Tumblerpoxy, Swiftpoxy can take a torch. Just a little, not a lot. You don't want to put a whole lot on here. But I like to do, I do like to use it for bubbles. See, that's what I was talking about with these cups, is they like to get a little bubble somewheres along their, that seam line for some reason. And that can mean that there is a problem with the seal. This totally did not go the way that I planned, guys. But that's okay. The other thing I learned a while back was don't over ink. Before you go, oh my God, there's not enough ink on there. Sometimes you have to actually let it spin out for a minute and see what's happening. Yeah, don't touch your heat again with the epoxy down. It's so funny. Ah, look at that. See? That is what, like I said, the one complaint that I have about these cups. The only complaint that I have, because I really like them overall, is they have a tendency to do that. I don't have a, I need to get another little dispenser bottle for my stuff. This might be a hot mess, guys. I don't know. And here's another reason that having a double-sided turner is great. I don't know what that is, but there was something in there that I didn't want in there. All right, now the other thing that you can do is something like this. I know it looks weird, but it actually gives like this really cool effect. I should have done the bottom of my cup blue, so I'm already seeing and also this heat gun is old as all get out, and it doesn't really move the ink the way that I want it to. Boom. I'm liking it. Now the other options that you have is and remember too with inks, one of the cool things about inks is that you don't have to do it all at once. So when you're doing ink, you can always come back in and add more. So that's why a lot of times people will do, this cup definitely has a blown seal in it. That's why it's doing those funny bubbles. Normally I would whack those with my torch, but we don't want to singe our stuff. So I'm going to let this turn for a few, see what happens. But with inks, you don't have to do it all at one time. You can actually come back in, like let the first layer settle, then come back in with just clear epoxy. You don't need to put anything in it. And add a little coat, and then go ahead and add just a tiny bit of the white into just a little tiny bit, like a milliliter of epoxy. When you do that, you can actually come back in and get more texture, get more waves in there. And anything you see that you don't like, you have the opportunity to cover up, which is fantastic. Because let's face it, how many times are you doing something and go, oh crap, that totally didn't work the way that I wanted it to. What the heck am I going to do? Do I have to strip it? On all honesty, I think I've only stripped. And there's that one random piece of glitter, guys. There's always one. Right? Did you see me? Like, I didn't pick up anything. I didn't do anything, but I have a piece of glitter right there. Little piece of glitter. Yeah. So you have the opportunity to change anything you don't like. Where is it? Stinker. Bugger. There we go. There we go. So what I'll do is I'll just do that. I wouldn't really want to try and do too much more heat on this, but I'm just going to kind of hit that one spot just to see if I can get it to, this is already setting up. Swiftpoxy is already starting to cure. This stuff is amazing. Like I say, oh my God, it's so good. Yeah, it's, okay, so when I come back in, what I'll do is I'm going to take and I will lay one of my tentacles over that little glitter boo-boo spot right there. That is that. So that's your part 1, part 2 of Shipwreck. Take your time. Don't feel rushed with these things. The only real commitment that you worry about is what color inks that you're going to use, and that's it. Allow yourself a little fun, a little time to create, a little experimentation. Don't be fearful of it. It's just a process. Guys, what's the worst that's going to happen if you screw it up? Honestly, come on, seriously. How much is a cup? I'm pulling you down. I want to flip you around. I'm going to look at y'all. Okay, so what's the worst thing that's going to happen? You strip it, you throw it away. Honestly, I have only stripped like 2 cups. What I do, like if it's in a pre-stage of I'm glittering, I'm doing something with like Mod Podge, particularly on the my God, the geometric cups that I do. Like I actually have one someplace around here. I don't know. Oh, here it is. My mess. This guy here, I'm going to strip this because I realized as I did it, I put down a wrong line. So I didn't size my cup right, first of all. My pattern. Oh my God, now I can't even find my mistake. Where is it? And like I said, I totally get people that are like super OCD about things and picky. Anyhow, there's like a total screw up on here. And it's because of the way that the pattern went. It didn't, oh, that's right. Okay. It didn't line up properly. Oh, here it is, right here. See, like right there, how the pattern, like there's that extra here. So instead of, I should have just continued on and not put the color in here. I should have just did it. So now I'm going to end up stripping this thing. And this is just Mod Podge and glitter on here. So that's easy. That's an easy strip. Anything that takes more than that, I ain't doing it. I'll throw the damn thing away. Or I'll have another cool pencil holder. Like that's what I use them for. Is I'll do like, hey, you know what? We all can always use another pencil holder, or pen holder or whatever. I actually made myself a bling cup, my first bling cup. Well, guess what? It's holding my Poscas. I spent so long doing this stupid cup, and guess what? Yeah, it's a pen holder. So, like I said, you guys gotta push to the limit. You gotta try. And as my motivator to you all, I want to give you some I want to give a few people some cool stuff. I have like so much glitter I'm never ever going to use in a million years. So all you have to do, I'm going to be signing off here because I have some stuff I need to do. I want to let this spin off. I want to let it take care of it. Oh my gosh, the bottom actually looks really awesome, guys. I'm like so psyched. And this will dry. So this will be dry to touch in 3 to 5 hours. Honestly, with Swiftpoxy, I haven't had to wait more than like 3 hours since I've used the Swiftpoxy. It honestly was, first time I used it, I could touch things within like an hour and a half. And actually, I didn't really mean to go touch it. It was just one of those things where I was kind of like, you know, you poke the bear and you're kind of like, oh, I'm curious. What's this going to do? And so I was just like, I just want to see how different Swiftpoxy is compared to Tumblerpoxy. And I touched a cup and I was like, holy crap, that's dry. Like it's an hour and a half and it's dry. Then I had my next piece that I did. It took about 2.5 hours for it to be dry. Now, taking into consideration day one that I did it, it was like 98 degrees outside. And the other day that I did it was somewhere in like the high 70s. So that could have something to do with it. I'm no expert. I don't honestly know. But you know what? If I don't have to let that thing spin for 10, 12 hours, I'm like super happy about it. So back to contest. I'll drop the link below. All you have to do is try something new. This is an honor system thing. I'm not going to like come to your house and bang on the door and go, okay, show me something new. All I'm asking you is just post a picture of it and tell me a little bit about how you felt trying it. Like, this is not about being perfect. It's not about getting it right all the time. If you screw it up, that's okay. Because you know what? The next time you do it, you're not going to screw it up. You're going to actually do better than you did. And you could be the motivator for somebody else too, which is great. There's so many new crafters here in the group. They've never done a thing. They've never tried anything, you know, anything at all. And people post pictures of these absolutely gorgeous cups, and they're so perfect and they're so beautiful. And yet, here you have all these new people going, oh my God, I could never do that. I'll never be able to do that. I've never even made, you know, a solid color cup. So help inspire other people, you know? Like, what does it cost you? Cost you nothing. Cost you nothing. Maybe a little embarrassment because you're like, oh, I didn't want to show people my screw up. But hey, that's why I love doing lives, because I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know if I'm going to screw it up or not. But I figure, you know what? If you can see me screw it up, and I'm going to show you how to fix it. If it can be fixed, I'll show you how to fix it. Hey, I messed up. I had a problem with my, you know, the cup there. You saw me fixing it. You saw me fix it. So it's the same thing. It's just experience versus no experience. Try. Okay, guys? So I love you all. You guys have a glorious afternoon. It's actually pretty nice here. It's like in the high 80s. It's almost 3 o'clock. So, and I've been live for like 2 hours. So like I need to go get like some serious caffeine in me. Oh man. And for those of you that haven't seen this, is this not like awesome? Beth Bryant made this. It is so like gorgeous. Oh my God. So gorgeous. She made this. It's got Swiftpoxy on it. It's like so awesome. And I was like, I gotta have that. That's just amazing. So I will see you guys tonight for the next part. If you want to catch up, watch the video. If you're just tuning in, you can easily do part 1, part 2, all in the same session, basically. I know it commonly people want to let their alcohol ink sit for 24 hours. Stone. I'm sorry, Linda. What? Stones? What? I'm sorry. I'm having a moment here. Stones. I don't see stones. What size was the stones you put on the cup? I didn't use stones on this cup. You talking about the other cup that I did? Oh, yeah. Okay. See, I definitely need coffee. You're talking about the queen cup. The majority of them are the 5s. I'm totally new. I'm totally new to bling. I got involved with bling through Sanjanet over at Tumbler Tutors, and now she has her own bling group. Oh my God, the girl is like, she's the rhinestone lady. Like, she's the queen of rhinestones as far as I'm concerned. And the girl is like absolutely amazing. And I was like, I want to make a cup because I love the band queen. I absolutely feel like I'm a dinosaur. Okay, I admit it. And I was like, I want to make this cup. And she's like, okay, what do you want to do? And I told her, and she goes, okay, you need to get 5s and filler stones. Now, it's like, what the heck is a filler stone? I have no idea what the heck a filler stone is. You know, so I'm all like I'm looking at all these stones. I'm like, oh my God, I'm never gonna. But I got just the plain rhinestones, the 5s. And then the other ones, it was like a mixture pack. And I got it on Amazon, actually. It's just the resin stones. It's not the glass. Oh my gosh, so cool. So cool. And the font just happened to work out like super good. It was perfect. The other one that I started is a complete nightmare. Like, I've never been so frustrated with anything in my whole life. I am so mad at myself for this. This is my other one. And I wanted to use these like super awesome chameleon stones. And then I was like trying to fill in for you blingers out there, I was trying to do this with black. And unfortunately, like, it's not showing. I have literally pulled the stones off of the words like 5 times. I think I'm going to have to replace the vinyl if I pull them off again. But I have to get a new color from my stones for my word because they're just not working. Like, you can't even see them. And now I'm using like the little teeny tiny ones. I think they're like 2 and 3 millimeter? I'm not, honestly, like I said, I'm not a blinger. I don't really, I'm just learning. For the pens, I know you use the 2s and 3s. Stacy Calhoun over at Southern Sassy Sparkles, she's done pens before. And I'll tell you, that's a whole world of, like, I don't even know. If you guys are blinging, I give you guys all the kudos. All the kudos, because what a pain in the ass. I'm sorry for the language, but I'm so frustrated between the glue, trying to get the glue. I buy precision tips. I'm trying to put these stupid glue lines down because I got, like, everybody said, oh, use this stuff. So try squishing out like a thin line with this. Ain't happening. Nope. So then I've got glue like going everywhere. So then one of the girls said, oh, get yourself some precision tips. So I did. I got some precision tips. Well, the stuff's so thick. It's like, I can't get this stuff out of here. Oh my God. And I'm squeezing the thing. Well, guess what I did? I squeezed the thing so hard that the end popped off and like the whole thing just went out all of my cup. I'm like, oh my God, okay. I get that cleaned off. I start again. So you ladies that bling, I'm telling you, like, it's awesome. And there's this one cup this lady did. Oh my gosh. Just to, you know, like, I don't even know. It was amazing. It was, she did like several different ones. And it had like Lilo and Stitch and like, and the sister and the thing. And like, there are these detailed cups of all these characters. And the whole thing is rhinestone. And I was like, that's mind-blowing. Absolutely mind-blowing. So, anyhow. It's cool. But anyhow, guys, all right, I'm gonna go. You guys have a good day. I'll see you guys tonight at I think I said 6. I can't remember. But we'll do the next part. And then tomorrow we'll finish up by putting the final layers of epoxy on. So long as everything is dry properly. Sometimes gluing on our tentacles can be a pain, and it takes more time. It's kind of hot here today, and so I'm not sure what the drying is going to be like. I am going to try and prep ahead though, and I'll use the other cup, so maybe I'll be able to move forward with it and do the final step tomorrow. So anyhow, you guys have a fantastic day. Go make something new and post it. Post it. Don't post it. I mean, post it in the group, definitely. But definitely post it on the contest thing. It's an entry. That's all it takes. All right, guys. Have a good one. Happy crafting. Bye.